You know, we can't put our head in the ground anymore. You know, like there's a lot of us out there that are struggling. And this is Tara, and yeah, she's my best friend. We have come a long way, you know, like without Whiskey's Wish. And I said this to Liz just recently, you know, like without their support and their guidance at the same time, I'd be in a dark spot.
So, I mean, you know, PTSD amongst us many guys has existed for a very long time. It's just been called different names. From the official diagnosis, you need to have exposure to some traumatic event, and that traumatic event needs to be stressful enough, you know, that it elicited a panic response or a fear response. There are studies that suggest about 90% of the population have been exposed at some point in their life to some traumatic event. So in Australia, for instance, in the previous 12 months, about 5% of the population has develops PTSD. But that depends as well on the actual subpopulation. So you'd expect people who have been exposed to more trauma, like more intense trauma, are more likely to develop PTSD, and we certainly do see that.
I did 26 years. I did 10 in the Navy, and then I transferred to the Army and did another 16 years. Finished up as a medic. So yeah, probably, yeah, there's a build-up of things over a long time. So.
And it is one of the few mental health diagnoses that does require a trigger, like an etiology we call it. So once there is that cause, then you need to have repeating of the experience. So whether it be through fear, whether it be through nightmares, flashbacks, we need to have increased arousal, so you're on edge all the time. That you literally can't go to supermarkets and things like that, which is, the other thing is, of course, is that you try to avoid any triggers.
I don't leave the house normally unless it's for dog training or appointments. They call me the dogless leader, so I'm the president of an organisation that trains service dogs, and I don't actually have one myself.
I had a few stints in hospital, you know, doing various programs and whatnot. You do those and then you come home and the program's sort of left behind. You know, you take little bits out of it. But having this bloke, this guy goes with me everywhere now, and he's just giving me independence back, basically. Yeah, it's been great.
So I discharged from the Army, and as a medical discharge, and as I was discharging, I needed something to keep myself active on the outside. Every Thursday morning we turn up, we have a coffee with some of our old friends, and we just go through and do training. So it's worked out to be a very good routine.
Liz and myself, this has been going for nearly 5 years. We want to step back and see it actually grow by itself, or keep going.
Animal therapies are also a good complementary therapy, and there is good evidence to support their use, particularly service dogs. You know, the service dogs are, there is good research that indicates that they are very effective.
A number of veterans who have had assistance dogs to help them through, and I know that has made a big difference to their lives.
You know, Scott's great to talk to, Liz is fantastic. You know, come along, because it has made a difference.
Like I do feel weak sometimes, and you know, but these guys pick me up. Like I could be having a really bad time, and I'll come here and see them and help them with their problems and their dog's problems, and yeah, it seems to just for a certain amount of time, I'm not worried about my problems.
Just having the people that have been in the same situations as what we have, time in defence, time in police, everyone just gets along and we understand what we've been through.
There's a lot of veterans now that are suffering, and if they could get into a program like this, it really helps. Since I've been on the program, I've dropped probably half of my medication, only because of him. So yeah, it's a good thing.
My biggest thing is I suppose talk. You've got to talk to somebody, you know, like find somebody you can talk to.
We're talking about taking a dog that loves their owner, but then giving them really, really special training. And that training takes time, over a year, and it takes patience and resources, and it takes money. And of course, none of this is just given away for free. We really need the help of corporate Australia to help those people who have served our nation, whether it's in uniform, in the armed services, or in the first responding area, or as corrections officers. They've served their community, served their nation, and now they're paying a price. And it's an opportunity for us to try to help them back to a normal life, to say thanks for what they've done. And providing a dog that's trained, a service dog, to help them through their recovery and moving forward into life is an incredibly powerful gift, and one that I think that we should really make.